right here, absolutely great right here. It's I'm not even a big wine drinker.
Yeah.
But this right here is not too sweet. It's not too bitter. Like it's just the perfect mix. So I really shout out to Nakia.
That's my big sister and whatnot. And like I said, I don't be biased. I don't care what y'all say. It's the best wine in the world. And not even just that, like that 14% hit you.
Man, I'm telling you, I'm slurring my words on stage. Coming to the stage, we got what's your name again?
It's the Wine and Dine South Euclid Wine Festival, guys. If you're in the city of Cleveland, please come out. MCing will be B Titty. Also, it will be music. It will be obviously wine, and it will also be great food right about the 4 Bistro and whatnot. So listen, August 31st, you guys make sure you're here. So, and also looking for vendors. If you want to be a vendor, please let us know or whatnot. You have until July 26th, so please let us know in the comments, okay?
Hey you guys, welcome to another episode of the Pull-Up Experience. Once again, you guys are tuning in for another great one today. So we are on episode 232.
Yes.
Of course, we have Brandon, not your average agent, your regular schmegular guy. You have your girl Britt here. And we have the honor and privilege of these beautiful ladies, Shallanna and Shamera, who are here to tell us more about how they are helping shape the community. And what better way than educating our youth, taking it outside of the schools and really educating and giving them fundamental skill sets that they can use for a lifetime. So ladies, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. Yes, it is an honor to have you guys here.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I like to think about the journey, right? And what journey does it have a beginning? So I'd like to ask you, like, are you guys both Cleveland natives?
Yes.
Team born and raised?
Yes.
So you got a hood to represent. What hoods do you guys represent?
Well, I'm more so suburb. I was born and raised in Warrensville, but if I could rep a hood, it would be Kinsman Union because that's where I grew up with my grandmother.
Okay. Shout out.
Yeah.
Well, she said it first, but it's true. Yeah, I kind of lived all over the city of Cleveland. I'm a rep where I'm at right now, which is on the west side.
Okay. Shout out to West Side.
Right.
I don't know you had to meet West Side.
We
Okay.
know. Yeah. Wow.
You know, they keep us in the back of the. I love the west side.
No, that's what's up. So let me ask y'all. So we both know you guys are educated and cultivators of young minds, but has that skill set always been innate in you guys? You guys with the baby dolls, y'all were teaching the baby dolls, or where will you guys say those skill sets began?
Well, for me, I'm the firstborn daughter,
Come on,
granddaughter.
shout the firstborns, by the way.
Yeah, so we're naturally the leader, the second parent of the house. So being a teacher was a natural progression for me. I don't think I had aligned myself to become a teacher when I was younger, but the skill set was definitely there when I was a young girl.
I think for me, I've always enjoyed school, so it just came natural to me. And then my younger cousins, was always teaching them things or showing them things. So probably it came from there. I was an auntie at a very young age in kindergarten. So yeah, I was like, doing a lot of things to mold and groom those around me while grooming and molding myself.
So let's talk about, because like I say this, I remember growing up, and as kids, when we see a teacher outside of school, we're like, oh, there's Mrs. So-and-so. We're not thinking that y'all live inside school,
Right.
y'all are there overnight or whatnot.
Right.
Let's talk about what it takes to become a teacher, because I don't think a lot of people understand what the process goes into that, because they think you just, you're probably a teacher. Let's talk about the process of that.
Take a deep breath on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, I think it just takes a well-rounded person. A lot of times you give your mental to the place from sun up to sundown. Even if you're not in the actual building, you're still preparing if you want to be that excellent teacher.
Yeah.
So it goes beyond the four walls of any institution. It's just something that you're always doing. You're thinking about kids when you're shopping for your own kids, you know what I mean? And you're thinking about kids of something social emotional, or did they meet the data, or how did they feel when you said this or said that? So you're always ingrained in putting children first.
Yeah.
Outside of if you're not a parent yourself, that's just something that has to be ingrained in you if you want to be an excellent teacher.
That's good.
Indeed. Well, for me, it was very unconventional. I my career started in, living in Washington, D.C. I was in IT sales for a while. I had a background in computer technology, computer programming, which is very popular in that area. When I moved to Cleveland, though, and decided to finish my degree, I had an incredible sociology class that really caused my path to diverge, and how I got connected with Rudolph Green Partnership, which is the first place that I had my teaching experience. From then, I went into teaching the back door, as a substitute. Really, I kind of found out really early that I think these children need me. I think that what I have to offer, having lived in a different place, having traveled, was another level of exposure within the classroom that I felt would be beneficial to share with students.
So life experience.
I can chime in too with Shallanna said, I was not initially wanted to be a teacher. I came in as a substitute as well. I couldn't find a job in community development. So I just was like, let me get this $25 sub license and see what happens. So that's kind of the same thing.
Oh no, because I mean, and then we remember ourselves and whatnot, right? We thought, substitute teacher, we gonna chill today. I'm pretty sure with y'all too, that was not the case.
You're a mother, so it's like you wrap your arms around the students like they're your own children, and it didn't matter if I was only here for the day. I want you to learn something. That's what you're here for. So I'm going to be of an impact, and a lot of my students would be like, Miss A, because my last name is rather long, so they couldn't say it. Anyway, Miss A, we think you should really be a real teacher. I was like, well, I thought I was doing all right. But you're right. Substitutes, it's a rough. So if you can make it through that, trial by fire, I think
trial by fire. I like that.
Seriously, I think you could do anything, especially within schools.
So, question. So, okay, and I'm pretty sure, like it's grades. Is there certain grades you guys not saying interact with, but you go in just somewhere where they put you, or you say off top, hey, I only want to work with this grade level of children or whatnot? No.
Deep breath.
Well,
you can go in saying that you want to sub any grade from K through 12th, but my preference is K through 3rd, just because there's so much, they're precious, they're, they still want to learn, they're eager to learn, but baby,
got the 4th from
that's not too much of my realm at this point.
That's why we make great partners, because I am the complete opposite. I wanted them older. Because it was like, we're going to have a heart-to-heart conversation about your future. And they will be able to kind of understand and take responsibility and accountability in a different way that younger grades can't.
Okay, I like that.
I love it.
Yeah. I'm about to say, I mean, God bless both of y'all.
Yes.
Because I can't.
Amen.
I always pray for those who deal with kids, because I have kids, and I'm like, Lord Jesus, they're my kids. I'm like, imagine having to have the heart and the mindset to deal with kids that aren't your own, because they're dealing with stuff that's outside of your control, and they bring it to you. They bring it to you guys and whatnot. You gotta have the fortitude to be able to say, okay, Jimmy, I know stuff's going on at home, but I need you to get this addition down or whatnot. How can we get that? How can we get that to happen or whatnot? So I wanted to segue into that. Like, what are some of the things that you guys feel a teacher needs to have in order to be able to work with children, especially children in certain areas?
Resources. You need to really be tapped into what's going on, what is available. And then I think you need to take a direct leadership role in the school to ensure that if there are not additional resources available to the students, that the administration can at least create a pathway for these young people and their families to get connected when there's times of need, because a lot of the issues that people talk about when they talk about young people is directly connected to things that have nothing to do with education. It's their access or lack of access to resources, family structure, abuse, drugs, or sometimes they just need someone to talk to. So that's what I would say.
No, that's the best way.
I would say similar. The 3 R's I focus on is relationships, relevancy, and just resources as well. Because if you don't have relationships with these kids nowadays, or you're not relevant, you don't know some of this verbiage that they use, especially with the 3rd and up. I taught 5th grade science. That's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, just be be relevant, and like Shallanna said, it's very important to have a voice and advocate for a lot of these kids, especially in urban school districts, because they don't have the resources. So you have to be very transformative in the ways that you're going to deliver high level, curriculum to the kids. So, but relationships is definitely, because if they look at you, I tell the kids all the time, don't. Because they know I can be, so just long as they know that you care about them, you love them, and anything that, like I told a parent, I wouldn't tell you nothing that I wouldn't say to my own child, to your child. So if your child is coming home to tell you something, trust me, I would allow somebody to say those to my own. So, yeah.
No, you're good. You're good. You're good. Because you guys both being educators, where did you guys see that there was a need that needs to go outside of the school walls to help our youth?
Yeah, so it sounds like a teacher. Like to educate is to draw out of somebody who's already in them. So you will, if you have a heart for this, immediately find out that there are some deficiencies in the school. I never, like I said, my plan was not to be a teacher. My plan was ultimately to have a school. So I had to go in through the back door in order to find out if I was on the right path or not. And I actually forgot the question.
It's okay. What made you both? What made you guys both decide that education needs to go outside of just the school walls and helping our youth to better them and better their basically livelihoods with the different programs you guys have?
I think mine. Let me finish.
Go ahead, Becky.
I think mine would be just being relatable to them. You have to reach kids on so many different levels now, because they have social media. They have, when we were younger, we didn't see what people in Chicago were doing, or people in California, or anything like that. We heard about it, but like I was telling my daughter, I said there used to be somebody who used to knock on the door, and we didn't have internet to sell us 27 cases of encyclopedias, and that's what we had to read to find different things. I had to read a dictionary when I had definitions, so to just make sure that you are focusing on these children where they're at, and also letting them know it's a bigger world outside of all of these things you see on electronics. A lot of this stuff is not real, and their reality kind of shifts when you apply that pressure to them. If that makes sense. So that's why where Shallanna, and I guess we can segue into that, where we met at is we're at a school that we need to that we both saw early on. It was like, oh, I see you, girl. When she came to the school, and I was like, we both saw that there was some things that needed to be changed, and instead of just sitting there, we saw the change and made the change happen.
I came in a role that you really don't see, which is social emotional learning. In a classroom specifically designed to deal with students that were having some emotional difficulties, and it was taking them away from their academic study, which is within itself is, and shout out to the Well for that, creating that programming to be able to provide that service to schools. But within itself, it was kind of thinking outside the box, where, imagine that a child is not doing well because they're hungry, and how do we navigate that as teachers? So I do believe that, like Miss Totty was saying, initially it was like, okay, look, I'm doing this, you're doing this. How can we come together? But it didn't happen overnight. It took about a year, would you say? Yeah.
Okay, so like you said, segue into that, because you guys have an amazing organization, My Life's Seeds, and I want to make sure that we, thank you guys for having an organization that magnitude, because once again, I wish I had something like that growing up. So thank you. So let's talk about that journey, because you guys said so let's talk about that day. Like you said, you guys, I know what it's like to be in the rooms of my life. I like what you're doing or whatnot. But it's different to actually execute on that and create something behind that. So talk about that.
Yeah. So My Life Succeeds is a holistic program that really takes, you have STEM activities that are rooted in obviously academic support. We also talk about self-awareness and social awareness, but we can't talk about how we can improve ourselves if we are not bringing in the family. So it's for us very early on, whatever we decided to do, it was important that we include everyone because the village, we can't separate the child from the village. So that's one of the things that we did, and how we were able to, I think, have a lot of success pretty early on.
Sure. So I was just thinking about I was just basically tired being in the space that I was in. I saw the need, I saw what needed to be done. I saw a piece that Shallanna could offer. I saw the piece that I can offer. And we started off, I think we kind of played around with different ways to relay this program to the community. So we started off with, trying to provide access to global citizenship and home economics, things that are taken out of the school at this time. So we still have those realms that we're trying to do it piece by piece, but like Shallanna said, it's that village piece that we're losing every day. We're losing that village piece. As you know, I don't know, I used to sit down with my grandmother. Plenty of these, like my children, my daughter, she doesn't sit down with her grandmother as often as I did. I saw my grandmother every Sunday. I saw my cousins every Sunday. So we're just trying to bring back that weekly piece of village and, making homes great again, as America says.
Homes great again.
Right. Yeah.
So I know that you ladies said that this was not something that was just an overnight success. It took time and patience and strategies. So you even said it took about a year for everything to kind of come together. What all did go into the planning and execution of everything?
Listen, I remember like maybe 6 months after I met Miss Totty, she was like, because like I said, at the time I was really, and I still am, really heavily involved in urban agriculture. She was like, I think you should teach classes about this. And I'm like, yeah, I think so too. Anyway, how was that? She stayed on top of it in a way that, it was like undeniable. Like, okay, you're right. I really need to wrap my brain around this. And I think sometime in the future, we both were so aggravated by the circumstances that we were in, feeling powerless, wanting to be able to be of real impact of our students and taking matters into our own hands. So I think and when that happened, it was like 30 days. Okay. We began our programming before we had formalized our business. We had a concept, a vision, and I think sometimes people get so wrapped up into the documentation that they lose sight of the work that needs to be done. We went and dived into the work, and then we formed everything else, which is really just menial work in perspective of the grander scale.
We're passionate about it, so it's easy for us.
Yeah, definitely.
So I want to talk about this. A lot of people have entered their partnerships with people, and they have not been successful. What seems to be you guys' formula to having a successful partnership?
Mutual respect.
Yeah, and I think we both have separate roles within the business. And we understand our lanes. Like sometimes I'm like, Shallanna, that is not a common people won't know that science language that you're using. Like you gotta will it in a little bit. So I think just like she said, mutual respect and knowing that, this is Shallanna's expertise, urban agriculture. Now I can add some curriculum, activities, books, literacy to it, but I understand that that's her position within. And I think, like she said, that mutual respect of knowing, hey, let's say Miss Totty, Shamera might have a little bit more in this area, and Shallanna might have a little bit more in that area, and we merge it together very well. So all praises for that.
I agree. She's really good with navigating people and relationships, like she said. And for me, I like being in the background, coming up with the concepts of what our next series will be. And we just, it's like pieces of a puzzle come together.
No, that's good. Because like I said, too often we see, like I said, partnerships, great concept, but the two egos or pride can go aside, or like I said, have you in this lane, I'm in this lane, more so are intersecting, and it does not work out well.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if that's a cultural thing because I know many businesses that did well because of the partnerships. So maybe we need to kind of really talk about that in terms of a lot of the work that we do. It takes more than one person to get those things done, and is it our ego that's in the way, or why we can't succeed with one another?
No, that's good. That's good. So I love what you said about diving in, being in the work versus documentation and whatnot. I want to be able to elaborate on that because too often we see it. We see it, or vice versa. If I wanted to create a curriculum for the school, what should be my first course of action?
Miss Totty?
I think for curriculum, everything for a school, everything is designed on standards. So you have to make sure that the standards for each grade level, the standard for each grade level is consistent. Now you can build a curriculum off anything, bubblegum, entrepreneurship. I had an entrepreneurship club at my last school that I was at, and the kids did like braiding hair. One kid did, he was a YouTuber and a chef. It was like just building off of things that are actually standards in the Ohio State curriculum, but just making it relevant for the kids and making it enjoyable. Like everything doesn't have to be about a test or data or this or that. How can you speak? How can you network? How can you relay your message to the world? So if you don't want to go to college, you can say, hey, here's my business plan and this is how I'm going to do A, B, and C. So just providing those lanes for kids to be expressive, but also using their intent and letting them have autonomy on the way that they learn specific standards.
I like that too. And I also like bringing in businesses that's in the school from the community into the school so that these children can connect to the standards in terms of what is a pathway, what is my geometry curriculum lead to, what is my engineering pathway lead to, why am I learning the King's English, the Queen's English, okay, and how does that relate into how am I going to be able to provide for myself?
No, that's good. So I know of a podcast that wants to get into the schools and be able to teach kids on podcasts, and that's something we can work on.
And there's actually a program that I work with to do entrepreneurship pitches. So you can work through them, and that can be a free program. Yeah, I can tell you all about it. I'm all about free libraries, music. Just come to me. I love free things.
I love it too. Speaking my language.
Yes, yes.
So, ladies, what would you guys say has been the most challenging aspect of things, and what's been the most rewarding?
Good question.
For me, the most challenging would be taking a leap, but being a head of household. So it's like, do I take this leap for myself? But I know I gotta, take care of other individuals. That has been a challenge, but the leap has been successful. So all praise for that. But that was that's my biggest challenge.
There's so many challenges. I think the greatest challenge for me was not taking the work home. It can be overwhelming, detaching from some of the issues that you see day to day, and being present for your own family was something I really had to learn how to do. But in terms of rewards, I would say that student who couldn't write a paragraph to save his life, who has suffered from having developmental issues, to actually becoming someone who can write, articulate themselves, the mother being able to read this child's writing for the first time. Those are the kinds of things that I live for.
I think my reward was when kids hold themselves, become accountable for their own education. I always tell my daughter, you are an advocate. I'm not always going to be there. Your dad, everybody's not going to always be there. So you have to hold ownership and hold accountability for your own education, whether that's why when I put this period right here and you took off 5 points and then you took off 2 another, like you have to question those things because at the end of the day, you are the captain of your journey and your educational process.
That's good. That's good.
Making sure children understand and hold that deep inside of them and carry them along.
To go about it too, because I've seen kids be an advocate, but they went about it the wrong way.
Yes.
You know, I think like anything else is a proper way to go about it. But if being disrespectful in the process, you're not gonna get your message across. So
and advocacy doesn't mean disrespect. That's what I teach in my household. Advocacy does not mean disrespect. You just have to know how to advocate for yourself appropriately and the realms how to do it. Like you should, some things you can't do in front of a whole class. Sometimes you got to pull the teacher aside and be like, excuse me. So just teaching them those things that will translate into the business and career world as well. So if you're teaching children these things young, like I tell my daughter, my 7-year-old all the time, you're gonna be the bomb when you my age, girl.
that's good. They have the skill sets. Yeah, the early age. Oh yeah, they're gonna be
Yes.
They're gonna be something else. That's good stuff right there. So let me ask y'all this. With that being said, what do you think is the biggest challenges that people have when they're starting programs for the school when they don't have the rest? They have the concept, they have the curriculum, they don't have necessarily the resources.
Well, that's a major problem. Not to have the resources. Also, it translates into, do I have the relationships?
Oh wow!
Because the relationships are key, and I think it was our relationships within the community that enabled us to garner success early.
I agree. I agree. Yeah, the relationships are powerful. I mean, you can get something from the Dollar Tree or Lakeshore Learning. Same type of quality of resource that you want to do the experiment with, but one costs $1.25, one costs $10.75. So you just have to know how to manipulate things, or try to expose these kids to everything. And how can I make this that I saw on TikTok out of the $10 that I got in my pocket? You know what I mean? So you can do it. Exactly. I mean, resources are good now, whether they're financial or something that you saw on these platforms. Those social media has changed the game for teachers these days. So if you're not using certain things on social media or these other platforms, I'm not a big social media person at all, but I will get on there to see different things, and if somebody recommends something, I'll get on there. But if you're using these platforms and things for the right resources, most of the time you don't really need a lot of things for these kids to love to learn if you have that relationship.
Yeah. Being relentless too.
Oh, yeah.
I think that in business, it's not always easy. Even when you have the education and the experience, we run into things that we have to, hurdles we have to jump over, but we're relentless because we're passionate about it. And I think a lot of people lack the passion, and then they wonder why things aren't happening for them because they're really not being authentic.
So speaking of the hurdles, what were maybe a few of the hurdles that you guys experienced in the beginning stages of everything? Share with me.
Well, I was the type of person, I went to everybody. I'm like, I got this program. I was pitching it to big schools, small organizations. I'm like, I've told Shallanna, I said, whoever gonna open the door, we're gonna kick it in. So we got a lot. Well, not a lot. We got a few no's in the beginning, and any no that you get is like, but we just kept pushing. I'm like, we cannot give up on this. I'm like, we got children looking at us like, Mama, what you gonna do? Even our daughters, our small daughters, they're our street team. They'll be at festivals passing out things. So we just make sure that we show them that we're passionate about it. And I think that's what fuels us every day, because we're still have things like, hey, I know we can get in here, or we were moving out of this space, but we're like, we just gonna take it in, continue our passion, continue our work ethic, and it's all gonna come. It's all gonna come in due time.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. Let's talk about what a typical day for you guys is, like the setup, or what the work that goes into a day with my life's seeds.
So our class right now, we have a contract where we teach one day out of the week for an hour, and it's really action packed from the beginning to the end. We have an objective, all different kind of tools that we use in order not only to garner the attention of the young people, but their parents too. you know, and we have the same attention issues that these young people have. So
you see,
know,
you be like, I know where to get it from now.
yeah. So we planned our curriculum in advance, and you know, coming back to the table every week, making sure we fine tune it, making sure we have, you know, really brought in the razzle dazzle. I mean, it's a daily work. You know, when we leave here, I'm probably going to be editing some of the video that we'll be showing on Tuesday. But it's like passion work. So,
How the passion work?
Yeah. Now the social media, this is the day and age of social media. The social media sometimes kind of gives you some ideas where you're able to kind of take it and be like, oh, I'm gonna tweak that and utilize that. Like, does that help sometimes with the formulation of some of your programs?
Well, as I said, I'm not a big social media person. I look
Right.
at stuff on YouTube mostly, but I have had ideas that I saw. I know we did the hydration station where I don't know if you guys seen it, but it's like these different beverages, and then they drink out the straw in the box, and they can't see like what they're drinking. They have to guess what it is. Have you guys seen that on social media?
No.
So we did that one with aloe vera water. What other water did we do? Coconut water, regular
water,
spring water. And then we did like a hydration water. So that was something that I took off of social media. My daughter tried me to get me to do it with her. So I'm like, well, let's do that. Let's do it there. So different things, I think, yes, because like I said, it's so many things and so many teachers. It's ways that you connect with teachers all over the world. And I do love that aspect about social media.
Yeah, for me, connected to all of these local farmers, because the algorithm is going to give you what you like. And seeing some of the phenomenal things that they do on their farms, and how I can make it plain and bring it into the classroom and make it relatable that's always like a healthy challenge for me. But to be honest, I'm not trying to be boastful. I think that what we do is unique.
Come on now.
Because I don't know of anyone that's relating plant care to self-care. Like, I don't know who else does that. I don't know who else has a dynamic duo team like this. So we want to be the model on social media to let other people know this is what can be done in your classrooms and your community centers.
No, like I said, I love the concept because once again, I have a green thumb in my life. It's all bad, but I feel like being able to teach that to a young group of kids that you're giving them exposure, right? But you're giving them the tools to, like you said, be able to deal with some issues or whatnot. And if it's through plant care, why not?
Right.
Give us more possibilities of what we can use for instance when we need it most. So thank you guys for exposing that, especially the youth of tomorrow and whatnot. Like I said, I wish I would have had something better than just play football or whatnot, or what I'm saying, do this or do that. That's probably not the right way, but it was a different route. But having options, I think, is just a beautiful thing.
And I think the generational gap is just widening because if you think about, I don't know how old you guys are, but my generation, I was like 2 generations away from planters, the people that were in, not anything like that, but just like in the field, had their hand in the dirt. You know what I mean? So think about my mom. She didn't have her hand in the dirt. Now me, I really don't have my hand in the dirt. I got into this because my daughter is a green thumb to the fullest. Like she has her whole back porch of all these plans, and I'm like, Shallanna, what do we do? Like she has her, jalapeno peppers. So I'm doing it for her, so I can learn it. We can have something that we both can connect with, because that's the piece that we're missing. A lot of parents are not connecting with their children over things that are valuable, things that they can pass along generation to generation. And that farming, what I'm learning is, like I told Shallanna, like I be finding stuff like when I'm doing the research for the program, I'm like, wait, so what does this mean? And she's like, oh, I didn't know that either. So it's new things that are out there that we're both, especially me, I'm learning very essential tools that I need to pass on 3 to 4 generations down from me. Because if we miss this in our community, it's going to be tragic. It's going to be tragic. So we have to get back to that. And survival, period. Like just getting back to homegrown things, because the food, on and on. But just making sure that we're passing down something to our children, because if not, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad.
No, that's good. So let me ask y'all this. With that being said, I know you guys were talking about your daughters earlier. What do you feel like is the best support system for y'all for helping y'all in this journey that y'all are taking?
Well, first of all, let me say that my daughters range in age. So I'm really grateful to have 4 beautiful daughters.
Shout out to the baby.
Yes. And 3 of them are interested in environmental sciences and ecology and
Oh, wow.
natural healing and health. And I really think that that was something that I was able to illuminate for them. As in terms of support, it's like, we would like to think, and I think that the people that are listening, it's not always, the support doesn't always come from the people you think it should come from. It's not always your family members. It's not always your best friend. It's that random person that you meet on the street who finds out what you're doing, sees your authenticity, and wants to help provide some support for you. So,
and realizing that it's an asset to things that they're doing. To know, to find somebody that was like, we know that nowadays everybody is into urban agriculture. There's so many grants and things out there. So why not build upon that when we can make something dynamic? So just knowing that everybody fits in their own realm within your life. And if you don't fit in this space that I need right now, it's okay. But you're just not an asset into this part of what's going on. So I need to, water this. And then I'm going to be back, but I need to water what's watering me right now. So that's very important.
That's so good. Like I said, too often we entrepreneurs, like I said, we think, oh man, my mom don't believe in me because your mom sees you as little Johnny, okay? Until a certain point in your career or in your journey, until, like I said, it might be that person who just sees the vision, sees that value in what you're doing and whatnot.
right.
So don't get discouraged. But I like asking that question because too often, I don't think we talk about that. Everybody's quote unquote self-made, so no one's self-made.
You definitely need to have some grit about yourself, though.
No, absolutely.
You definitely need some, because sometimes it will not be anyone waiting for you or, willing to help. Sometimes people need to see you succeed. So I don't believe in self-made either, but I do believe in motivation.
There we go.
Internal motivation.
Ooh, that's good. So, question for you, ladies. So, what do you guys feel like is the most, or not the most, what is the biggest misconception people have about being an entrepreneur?
So to give up a job and that you work 8 hours a day so that you can have one that you work 24 hours a day. This is it. You're everything to your business. So whatever you're going to do, you better make sure that you're ready for that commitment. Having some money set aside for yourself is also helpful because sometimes the grants aren't available. And if we're being honest within our community, sometimes the loans aren't available. So you need to have some funding,
We always say on this podcast, everybody sees the glory, but not the story or whatnot. Too often we are heavy on the glory, but not too heavy on the story or whatnot. And part of the story is that portion right there. This misconception of entrepreneurship. Like you explained it perfectly. And even a lot of entrepreneurs, they're still working full time too. Also pursuing their dream. So don't miss that either or whatnot. You can be an entrepreneur and still working full time. Doesn't make you any less entrepreneur.
No.
But I think what makes the work different is that as an entrepreneur, you're digging into something that you're passionate about. You're not really investing so much into somebody else's vision or dream. It's something that you're passionate about. So if I'm at a school and I'm working from 7 to 8, I'm like, hey, why am I still doing this? But if it's my business, it's something that I see that's going to, help generations after me. I don't have no problem doing it. That's the difference for me.
And I think that we always need to be willing to learn something new. Because, we came into this with our own set of skills. But sometimes the job that we need to get done requires some skills that we don't have. So we need to be always willing to learn something else.
That's good. Yeah. That's good. I was going to ask that too. Are there other, maybe down the road, other skill sets you would like to be able to maybe bring others into to be able to teach the youth as well, whether it be financial literacy, whether it be different concepts that are relevant in today's world?
So I think what I spoke on earlier is we had a focus of, different pillars. And then, so we're just focusing on 2 out of the We had 6 pillars.
Okay.
So we're going to branch out to other areas and avenues because we feel like it's my life succeed. So think about all the things that you need for yourself, for you to be successful. So it's different pillars in every realm you can think of that we're really trying to pour into these children and ultimately holistically pour into the family. Because if we're just pouring into the child, sometimes that can get dropped off or left off at different realms because they're children.
Yeah.
But if the parent sees it, or the grandmother or the auntie or the next door neighbor sees it, it's like, oh yeah, remember such and such, So it's just that going back to that, making that village great again, the home great again.
Yep.
That's good. No, that's really good. Okay, ladies. We got these questions we love asking. The reason why I love asking questions, a couple reasons. Because every answer is unique. Every answer is, I feel like, pivotal, and I love everyone's unique perspective. But as you ladies know, Cleveland has a reputation of not being collaborative. Yeah. So y'all get the reaction, right? How do you feel like we can change that narrative of Cleveland not being so cliquish and being more on the collaborative side?
I think it starts with the individual. You want to be the changes you want to see. I mean, I hate to sound cliche, but that's ultimately what I think we need to start with. I'm grateful for the collaboration I have.
I was about to say
you're a
product of collaboration.
I'm grateful for the but see, it wasn't easy.
Mm.
It wasn't easy, and every person that you do business with is not a collaborator.
Oh, come on.
So I appreciate, and I also appreciate our partnership because they took a chance on us. They saw the vision, and they saw some people that were really willing to put their hearts into it, and so they took a chance on us. So I'm grateful for them too. And for the no's, we'll be back.
There we go. There we go.
I think for me, I don't know. I came here after having my daughter. I was born and raised here. I was in Chicago. So Chicago's thriving, There's a lot of collaborations amongst African-American entrepreneurs there. And when I came to Cleveland, it was like kind of cliquish, but I just think that people need to understand that all great things have to come with collaborations. Like you can't build this great rap label or this great clothing label without collaborating with someone in some aspect. So just knowing that, everything great has to come with the collaboration, and it's not somebody trying to take your idea or somebody trying to, take your brand or anything like that. Because like I told someone the other day, nobody can duplicate with your uniqueness. You know what I mean? So nobody can duplicate that. They can try, but it's you and your energy that brings it to the forefront, and they can just thank you for it, But I think in Cleveland, a lot of times, some people may be scared of just, saying that I worked with Shallanna on this. It got to be all about me. Like my life is about me. No, I brought this in, and I had this podcast. So just being open, just having an open mindset is what we need to do.
And I think, scarcity breeds that too. I think we're in a city that is on the verge of evolving into something like a Chicago, but we have to, put aside the small town ways. And so small town ways come with small town ideas and people not wanting to be team players. Because the reality is that we win, the whole city is winning.
That's good.
So we do the best that we can do with what we have. And just if you're someone out here who's in need of a collaborator, then
we here.
We here.
We welcome collaboration.
Well, with that being said, segue to my next question. What are some either organizations, companies, or people you guys want to collaborate with in the future?
My biggest one when I heard that is just Head Start.
Come on now. Head Start. Come on now.
Yes, I would love to collaborate with Head Start because I'm a firm believer in nourishing the minds of children early, and it will flourish later on. If you start in those very early ages, just nourishing those kids' minds, and when they're eager and hungry to learn new things, and they're learning things just you don't know that they're learning, I would love to collaborate with Head Start.
Okay, y'all heard that? I know
That's
someone
right.
from Head Start watching this.
That's
Stop
right.
playing.
For me, I'm a Cleveland graduate, so it starts at home. Charity starts at home. So if I was to collaborate with anyone, it would be CMSD. We know y'all need us.
Come on now.
tap in because it's not just about the student. We realize that we understand the struggles that's happening, and we understand your limitations. So you can't do it by yourself. That's why I keep saying village. That's why there is a village. So tap in.
Come on now. That's good.
So, ladies, when it comes to legacy, and we speak of this piece, not only legacy for yourself, but for your organization, My Life Succeeds as well. What do you see for legacy? Two-part question.
I see My Life Succeed just really being a pillar in the community. I envision it as a resource center that schools and other organizations can tap into for services, for guidance. In terms of my personal legacy, my lineage is really so important. So I want my daughters to be able to be fearless and in chasing after what it is that they want.
That's good.
I think I'll leave with my personal legacy similar. I just want to create core memories within my family, my children. I have a goddaughter that I raised somewhat, so I'll call her my children. Just knowing that there's endless possibilities if you allow yourself to take them. So just knowing that you can do it. You can do all things. Like I say every day to myself, I'm capable of all things. Everything I need is already inside of me. So I don't have to venture out to different things to filter what's already inside of myself. As far as for My Life Succeeds, I want it to be an organization that is a household name, and where it's making positive changes within the community, within households, within individuals.
And you guys have given us so much. Like I said, the work that you guys do does not go unnoticed. We thank you guys so much because not everybody is taking the time out to really take that necessary time with our youth to really help and better them for the future. So we appreciate you guys so much.
Y'all need a couple of those.
For sure.
Very much.
And not only has it inspired and really motivated us, but I'm sure there are others that are watching. And as we take this interview and just kind of condense it down, what would be 3 takeaways from each of you that someone watching or listening should be able to gather from today?
I can go first. Be an advocate for yourself. Build strong relationships no matter where they are.
That's good.
And find self-love first.
How do I back that? What do I say? Thanks.
And she had it ready,
I
so
know
now
she
you
was
had
ready.
time
She
to
was
really
like,
think
listen,
yours through, you know?
I got this. Yeah, I love that. I want to say, stand in your truth. That's my first one. Be fearless and build relationships.
That's good.
Those are great ones. Whatnot. Like I know some young man and some young lady watching right now. Like I need that, and that's why I love these interviews and whatnot. Get a chance to talk with great people doing great things, but then also get to empower and encourage those who necessarily didn't have a correct path or looking for another way. It's like I've seen that. Now I'm going to go this way now. So thank you, ladies.
Yes.
Oh, thank you for having us.
So part 2, we have to come with.
Right.
Part 2, we have to come visit y'all in the classroom while y'all working and see y'all interact with kids and whatnot.
Please do. We would love to have you.
Yes.
Seriously.
That's
Love
right.
to too.
And then we'll work on our curriculum for full experience. Now y'all stay
Yes,
tuned for that.
yes.
I think they would really like
They
that.
would love that.
They
Yes.
already think,
Like you guys
well,
said,
they
the
are
relevance.
creators,
Yes, absolutely.
And the libraries already have these studio spaces where they can create music and do podcasts and voiceovers for free.
Yeah.
Children go
Come
out
on
there.
now.
The library. I
The
can work.
library
I
is
can
a great
you
place.
say
They
about the
can
library.
say 3D printing.
Yes,
2D
like everything is
printing.
there free.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Did not know that.
Yes.
Me
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
I
Wow.
know
They have
about
a
the
great
studios. I
maker
just
space.
didn't know about all the other resources. Wow.
We love the library.
Yeah, Case Western Reserve.
Yeah. Big
They have a
box.
really great big box. It's a lot of resources. I think Cleveland gets a bad rep from people that are not from here. But there's a lot going on. Good things going on here. So if you're in a house and behind a screen all day, you probably don't know what's happening. So tap in.
That's right. That's the beauty of this podcast. So you can bring others on, and they fill us in on what we didn't even know.
And we build
was right in
relationships
our
though. So we're
backyard.
doing the very thing the thing they said for this episode. We're building relationships. So
That's right.
appreciate
That's
y'all
right.
ladies.
Yes.
We gotta pay some bills, y'all. Listen, guys. We next week. That's why we're doing episodes today, because we will not be here this week on Tuesday because we're going to Atlanta and we're going to the podcast with Mr. David Shannon himself. Please pray for the safe travels. But the team, we're going to come back for the podcast being stronger, faster, better than ever. We're going to take 2 days to learn everything we can and bring it back here to the city. So y'all stay tuned for that.
Can we plug something?
Yes, ma'am.
So every Tuesday we're at PNC Fairfax from 5:30 to 6:30 with dynamic programming. So if you have family and friends, please come out and have a great time with us.
Oh, I'm sorry. And I forgot to ask the most important question of the whole episode, guys. Where can people learn more about you guys? Where can they get in touch with you guys? All that good stuff.
So our website is mylifesucceeds.org. You can also see some of our programming, snapshots, and videos on Instagram at mylifesucceeds.
And I'll have it show us from lazy people. It'll be right there. You watch this, boom, right there.
All right, and then also August 31st.
Yes.
We have Nakia Hudson with 2U Wines. Come on, y'all already know. And we also, she is partnered up with the Four Bistros.
Yes,
so
it's like
this
a
is going to
home.
be a dynamic duo. They're taking over the city of South Euclid, and we are going to have great drinks, great fun, great entertainment. You name it, it's going to be there. It's going to be a fun time. You do not want to miss it. What a great way to end the summer with, with a bang.
Absolutely.
So
until you want is gonna do it every single time.
never fails. So our girl's gonna be there. We of course gonna be there. And like our girl Marquita would say, don't meet us there, beat us there. So you do not want to miss this. We can't wait to see y'all. We appreciate you.
Absolutely. And then guys, we are not Marquita. So we're not gonna try to do what she does, but we will say we have an amazing team of videographers, photographers, hosts, virtual services, winemakers, and just all of those. So what you're going to do, as you're looking at the show notes, tap into all those services and those people who are on our team doing great things. So please do that today.
Yes, absolutely.
Lastly, guys, we want to thank you. Yes, you, the person watching. Yes, you, the person listening. Because once again, guys, you guys have made it so that I can't, listen, I'm not saying this, but y'all are saying we're the number one podcast for a reason. We're right at the mark of 16,000 subscribers, and we're at 7.8 million views, like right there at the cusp or whatnot. So y'all have once again shown that you guys want to hear great stories like these every week, and we're not slowing down anytime soon. If anything, I would say is the secret sauce that everyone wants to know about the pro experience is consistency. We're not stopping. We're gonna find stuff anytime soon. And we have a great team, so try to beat that. Guys, we want to thank you. This is episode 232, and we can't do any better. Closing out or whatnot. I want to thank these ladies for telling us their amazing story. Yes, I can't thank you guys enough.
So much.
So, guys, we will see you guys next time. Peace.
Thank you.